Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Welcome back. It is September 13th, 2021. Lots of football this past weekend. But before we get into that, let's welcome in producer James and the co-host of the hour, Mr. Wes Washington. How you doing, fellas?
Good.
Good, man.
You good? We all took.
Feel a little under the weather, but
well, you know, I think that's pretty par for the course. This whole we're getting into like flu season, whatever seasons.
Feels great outside.
I got to feel better than James, though, man.
Well,
man bun looked horrible.
It's like a baby bun, right?
Did somebody tell Aaron Rodgers that you can't win football games with a man bun? Look at history. Has anybody went to the Super Bowl with a man bun? No.
Tom Brady did.
He's got to cut the. Tom Brady didn't have no man bun.
Yeah, he did.
Super Bowl. When?
Yeah. In 2000 and
you got to show me a picture there.
Okay, I'll send you a picture. We'll send you a picture. Tom has had plenty of long hair winning Super Bowls.
I don't know if he wore a man bun. He might have had long hair, but I don't know about no man bun.
Well, what's the difference? The way you style it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah. I'm not going to say fair enough because I can't stand fair enough. I don't like that. Anyways, we got Monday Night Football going on right now. Wes, you got the game up? What's the score?
I got it in the other room. So
no, you're good. You're good. I have it here. I wanted to give you the first option. So, dude, the game looked kind of ugly early as Mariota. Did you see Mariota break like a 40-yard scamper up the middle?
Well, that's what Mariota can do.
Yeah, and then he
can't do much else, but he can do that.
I think he got a little concussed because whenever they like tackled him, they landed on his head with three guys on his back. And he woke up like drunk. Like he got up drunk. I was like, dude, y'all need to go look at that, man. Anyways, Baltimore up 7-0, 10 minutes left in the second quarter as we speak. Producer James?
No.
I thought you gave me that look like. You got something?
No.
Big weekend. Let's kick it off with the Cowboys taking on the Buccaneers. Coming up short, 31-29, the final. The defending champions get their W after a late press by the Dallas Cowboys. Dak looks like $160 million guaranteed man. Wes, what do you think?
I mean, like I said, going into the game, I just really wanted Dak to knock that rust off, see how good he can look. Went into the game not really thinking that the Cowboys can win, but they gave him all they could get, and they played a hard game. The defense caused turnovers, and I think the Cowboys offense, they got to capitalize on that. Good teams score touchdowns off of turnovers, and that was the difference. Tampa Bay, when Tom Brady gets a turnover, he's going to put it in the end zone. And so Dak's got to work on that, and that's what's going to take them to the next level is that when they get those turnovers, they turn them into 7 points. And, the kicking game, I can't watch that dude anymore. They got to find somebody better.
He needs to get cut, right? I mean, he needs to be cut.
That's sad. You can't rely on that.
Yeah, you need to lose your job if you're leaving 7 points on the board. The other half of the thing is you mentioned Zach in the offense trying to put 7s up or 6 touchdowns up when they get the ball after turnovers. Do you put that? I don't put the blame on Dak in the offense per se, but to me it's more of Kellen Moore. Didn't run the ball. Should have been running the ball more than what they did. Zeke Elliott had a full night. People were like, well, Zeke didn't do anything. Well, if you weren't watching the game in the pass protection, then I don't know what the hell you were watching because Zeke had a full night picking up blitzes all night long. But at the same time, it's like if you're getting 1 yard or no yards, it's better than not running the ball. And I think that's what Kellen Moore really didn't understand. He was like, well, we're not getting any progress, big yards with the running the game. And I'm like, look, you have to keep that defense honest because Todd Bowles is going to make sure if you don't run, he's just going to blitz. And that's primarily what they were doing. Not to mention that Tampa Bay has a great front four to get after the passer. Luckily, Dak was able to get the ball out under right around 2.5 seconds, 2.3 seconds, so that he could avoid the blitz. But also, I think the maturation for Dak at the line of scrimmage, checking and getting the ball to where it needed to be, I think was a big step that I didn't see him have in the previous 5 years. So Dak looked good. Zach Martin was out. Now we have Lael Collins out on a 5-game suspension. They're going to reshuffle the line. I don't think this is anything new, especially what happened last year with the offensive line being diminished at best. But for me, I hope that the Dan Quinn defense gets a little bit better. I don't think they're going to face an offense like that till, what do you think? Maybe till they play New England? The Cowboys? I don't, because right now the Giants defense is garbage. Everybody's offense in the NFC East except for maybe the Eagles is average. And look, what's going to happen when they play the Eagles is Dallas and Micah Parsons are going to spy Jalen Hurts, and he's going to go wherever he goes. And with 4.39 speed that Micah Parsons possesses, having a 6'3", 250, 260-pound frame, that'll, I think, neutralize Jalen Hurts. So Dallas looks good for the NFC East. Remember, they only have like the fourth most difficult schedule. They have an easy schedule after this game. I think the only other team that's going to give them a real challenge is Kansas City. So do you think the outlook is really positive? I mean, we're talking about 11 wins here now, I think, especially with the way this offense looks. Wouldn't you say?
That's what I was saying. You know, I took a lot of positives from the way they played offensively. Plus, we get Martin back, even though we lose Collins. I don't know.
Only 5 games.
What's going on with that? But I just think we can move Martin anywhere. He's going to be ready to play. But I just think we got to get some more things happening on the defense. They showed up, but like you said, Kellen Moore's got to step it up once we get turnovers, and they got to get him in the end zone. Zeke, I thought when he did run the ball, when he touched the ball, he had that explosive look again that when he first came into the league. It looked like he could take it to the house at any time when he got a chance. So I'm really excited to see what that offense can do. I'm really excited to see what the defense can do. I'm excited to watch and see what the Cowboys, how they've gotten better. I think so, and I really think they can win the East.
Wes, one more thing before we kind of move on to the next subject. What did you think about that set when they had Pollard and Zeke in the backfield? To me, that was a interesting look for the future. We saw that one play where Zeke was playing fullback and they had to get the short yards, which they were able to get. But for Pollard, I think he's such a great change of pace back, and he seems to be running more explosively at this time. But I think it's because they get him in space, and that's where he can do a lot of his damage. Zeke can do the same thing. It's just they don't put him in that position. Do you think that's going to be a good weapon as we move forward to have both backs on the field?
Yes, because I think Zeke is the better blocker. Nobody picks up that blitz like Zeke, man. He did a phenomenal job picking up the blitz all game Thursday night. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I think Dak would have been on his back a lot more.
Yeah.
But Zeke did a great job, and that's all you can ask for right now. So I think going forward, we're about to see the Cowboys do some damage, even though they're not favored this week playing the Chargers, which I guess because it's a road game.
Yeah, I don't know about that. San Diego did. I'm sorry, San Diego. I apologize, NFL. The Las Vegas Chargers did not look very good against the Tyler Heineke-led Washington football team. Let me just put it like that. I don't think they can go. I don't think the Chargers can go score for score the way Tampa Bay did at home or at a neutral site. That's just the way I feel about it. Maybe things will change. The line may change as we get closer to game time. Let's go ahead and pivot, move forward. The Green Bay Packers in the late game. Yeah, we had to talk about this. The Green Bay Packers taking on the New Orleans Saints in Jacksonville. Producer James. I want to give James. Let's give James the benefit here, where this was his team. A lot of expectation. I'm not surprised on the outcome, but I'm surprised on the team play. That's what shocked me. James, what were your thoughts on Green Bay versus New Orleans?
Dude, they didn't show up. They had a horrible game. They had a bad game. Rodgers looked off. Well, he looked like so first of all, I didn't know that Bakhtiari he's gonna be out for 6 weeks. Because I saw that they had 2 rookies on the line.
Yeah, he's still rehabbing his surgery.
And I was like, what? And so that right off the back, I was like, that's trouble. That's always been trouble for the Packers, as long as Rodgers is there. And I know we give Jameis a lot of shit on here, with the crab legs and all that.
But
stuff.
It's true. He acts like a fool.
Yeah, he does. But on the field, however, like he is. I feel like he is a good quarterback, and I really honestly feel that he's gonna have a great season with the Saints. And he showed out, dude. I picked him up in one. I don't know which league it was, if it was in ours, but I picked him up before the game on our fantasy because I realized that my quarterbacks weren't all that strong, and I should have started him because the dude went off 5 touchdowns.
I started Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I did too in one of my leagues. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have Matt Stafford as a backup on my bench, and so with the late game, I was like, okay, well, I'm not totally uncomfortable in this. But Wes, I wanted to know, what were your takeaways? What do you think the deficiencies were for Green Bay? I'm gonna give my take as soon as you give yours.
First off, I just want to say, everybody out there, if you can, send James a virtual hug. He needs it right now because that was just sad. I mean, you're supposed to be – a lot of people got the Packers going to the Super Bowl. They're supposed to, be competing with Tampa Bay. But I just don't think, Aaron Rodgers got to cut off the man bun, first of all. And I think Sean Payton's got a good game plan for Jameis Winston because if you look at it, they didn't make Jameis throw the ball a lot. When he threw the ball, he was effective, but he didn't have to throw the ball, 40 to 50 times a game. But Aaron Rodgers, it seemed like Green Bay, they didn't make any adjustments, It seemed like they were just going to try to stick with whatever they're used to doing, and they just kept going with it until finally I think Aaron Rodgers was like, hey, let the kid go in there. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me, there's 3 big things, especially on the offense for Green Bay. Number one is none of the receivers could get open. They couldn't separate from the man coverage that the Saints just run. And the other half that kind of contributed to that was the run game for the Green Bay Packers was non-existent. They tried to get it going, and then they just abandoned it. And when they got too far behind, you start getting 20-plus points behind, you're just going to throw the ball as much as you can to try to catch up. The other half is the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers just looked the same way they looked against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year in the NFC Championship game. And so Aaron Rodgers looked aloof. He looked discombobulated. And I think that's due to the part that he had no blocking. His receivers couldn't get open. They're running man coverage, cover 2 all game long, which means the way you can beat that is if your tight ends can get over the middle and get big yards, and you also can run the ball to pull up those safeties and run play action. Well, when you don't have people getting open or can't get separation, and you have no running game, and you have no offensive line to block to give you time, you're going to look the way you look. Now, when Bakhtiari comes back, I think when they need to go get another weapon on offense. Like Randall Cobb is not going to be the guy who is going to be able to separate this late in his career. I think there's some free agents out there that can go and do that.
Problems with the Green Bay Packers is that they won't go get him help. He's been saying this for a while. I don't think that's the
issue. I don't think the issue is going to get free agency help like in the season. I don't think that's Aaron's qualm. It's more of, can they go get it when it's not the football season and not are in the draft? Those are the big, I think, issues that Aaron wants to address. In the game, in the season, I think he can manage. But for now, like in this instance, maybe Wes, you're right. Maybe they need to go get somebody now, but I don't think they're going to do that. That doesn't seem to be their plan of attack. It's week 1. There's 15 more games for everybody else. Take into consideration your bye. Next week, they need to hammer the run game. It's like, you need to pound A.J. Dillon, and you need to pound Aaron Jones, and you need to play action off of it. Like, go back to do what Cleveland's doing. You need to go try to do what, the Tennessee Titans are doing. You need to go do what New Orleans did, and don't depend on Aaron to throw 60 times. You got to make sure that you can at least set the line of scrimmage. We saw Dallas do that, and they were able to hold up against Tampa Bay. For Green Bay, if you're not going to be able to give your quarterback time to throw and nobody's separating, good luck. I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be successful. So, I don't know. I think New Orleans.
Double Adams.
Well, that's what they did. You bracket Adams the whole game and nobody else can release. It's like, come on, you got Lazard 6'5", dude. You need to separate. You got MVS 6'3", dude. You need to separate. Robert Tonyan, nowhere to be found. It's like somebody's got to get open. Aaron Jones in the flats, nobody's getting open. And that's because I think mainly you're going to pressure Rodgers. The secondary is going to hold up. They don't respect your running game. And this is the outcome. Then you get behind because New Orleans is being very efficient with their run game because of Alvin Kamara. And then you have Jameis Winston throwing off a play action. And now Jameis Winston can prove he can throw a 50-plus yard football touchdown when Drew Brees last year couldn't do that. Lots of things going well for New Orleans until they find a team, until they play a team who's just as equally gifted as them. And
I think their defense looked really good. So, I mean, their defense has looked really good over the past couple of years.
When all you have to do is play man coverage, yeah, you're going to look good if the other team can't separate. That's my biggest issue is when you go play teams like a quality high-end receiving core, who comes to mind? Minnesota. Then you also have Dallas. You have Tampa Bay. You have Cleveland. Who else could we throw out there? The Los Angeles Rams from last night Cooper Kupp looked ridiculous. Robert Woods looked ridiculous. When they start playing those types of teams, it's going to be a challenge.
So why haven't the Green Bay Packers? Why haven't they gone to get another receiver?
Because they like to do They like to do business as usual for the past 20 years. Because they've had a Hall of Fame quarterback in Brett Favre for 16, 17 years, and right behind them was Aaron Rodgers. They haven't had to do that because it's been business as usual.
You go get Jordan Love instead of getting a receiver. Well, I mean,
have Jordan Love play receiver.
Why Aaron Rodgers is so butthurt is they went and got Love instead of going to get him a receiver.
Yep. Unless Aaron Rodgers came back just to sandbag and have Gutekunst fired. I mean, those are thoughts out there which I think are ridiculous.
It's been the show for the past 4 or 5 months already.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's get into it. What's up, Wes?
Big hug to James. Love you, brother.
Hey, doesn't James owe Pep have to pay a debt?
I mean, he was so excited about the Cowboys losing. I know he was. I know when he saw Tom go up, he felt so relieved because he wasn't going to do the show tonight if the Cowboys won and the Packers lost. He would have called in sick. I guarantee you.
No comment. But James has to pay a debt? That's what I remember.
Oh yeah, John had a bet, didn't you?
No, you and James had a bet.
Oh, what was it?
What was it?
If James lost, he'd have to eat a dub, like James Winston.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, go ahead, sir. Are you on camera?
On camera.
All right, well, hop to it. Hey, that'll be, and you can transition yourself out.
What was the bet again?
You would have to eat a dub.
Eat a dub.
So throw up the west side, take a chomp out of it, and we'll go to break.
What are you talking about?
Eat that dub.
There you go. Wes showed you how to do it.
I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are.
All right, I'll do it before the show ends.
No, you'll do it. We're gonna go to break.
I'll do it before the show ends.
Over here, he's what do they call those guys? I can't think of it. Welch. You're a Welchman. Let's see. If you don't do it by the end of the show, you're a Welchman. We're going to break.
That's a bet.
No, it's not a bet. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. We were all going to break there previously. We did capture some audio from last week's show between producer James and us. So here's the audio.
He's surely mistaken. He's hoping the Green Bay Packers lose. Don't lie to us, Wes. Come on, man. Don't lie to us. Don't lie to us. So.
Dude, I can tell you, I kind of hope both teams lose. I got my brother. He's a Saints fan. You know,
So I have a proposition. Let me see.
I wish your bomb drops on the stadium, though.
That's kind of crazy. Here's the proposition. This is between Wes and James. Well, James would be.
What show is that?
Yeah.
This is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Here it is. If the Green Bay Packers win, Wes, you got to eat crab legs on the show. And if the Saints win, James has to eat dubs on the show.
Bet.
He didn't even hesitate. Producer James. Was he on camera, Wes? I couldn't see.
Yeah, he was.
Well, based off of his reaction, based off of Wes' reaction, hey man, that's a paid in full. He even snarled in there and everything. That's he ate it with the gusto. For the hey man, props to producer James getting it done.
There you go.
I mean,
Well, you said I was a what?
you're gonna be a Welchman.
Welchman.
Do you know what a Welchman is?
I'm
Well,
guessing
there's-
someone who doesn't.
Yeah, someone who doesn't pay their debt.
Yeah.
But it's there's a country called Wales, and people from there are known as Welchmen. But there's a no hold. I'm not gonna get into it.
Not
But anyways,
this guy.
you're a Lannister. You always pay your debts.
That's not the only bet that I lost. Also,
What else? What other bet
for
did you
that
lose?
game.
To who?
Some dudes at work.
Oh, you.
I lost big this week. I lost big Sunday. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Did you know they had those O-line problems?
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I literally found out when the game was starting.
Oh.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, they got two rookies on their O line.
Yeah. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
College football, Texas played Arkansas this weekend, and look at that big old grin on Wes's face. You know he's sporting them Razorbacks. The Longhorns. I even played a little Walking Dead snippet with I forgot who the character's name is. Anyways, there's a little snippet out there where it's little pig, little
You weren't the only
pig.
one.
Oh, I believe it. Little pig, let me in, and the Hogs.
I got lit up.
The Hogs let them
all
in.
week long.
The Hogs let the Longhorns in and welcomed them to the SEC, and they said, "Not today, son. Not today." Wes, I don't know if you've heard or not. I dropped in the messenger. Casey Thompson is now the new QB1 for the Longhorns. Hudson Card has been benched for this game against the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
I think they're still going to play both, though. I think they're still going to, but he.
Yeah, that's a big demotion in my opinion. When you beat out one guy during camp and then in one game he literally if Casey Thompson plays the whole game, that's a different kind of ball game. I'm just gonna let it be right there. He only played what 1 minute, 2 minute in the third, and then the whole fourth. That's a whole new game. He put up 21 points in a quarter.
But I think Arkansas changes their defensive scheme at that time. They were up big. They got off the gas a little bit. I'm not gonna say.
Oh, pun
it would have still
intended.
been a
Is that
blowout,
right?
But I still think that they were still putting it on them. They couldn't stop them defensively. They were running the ball right down their throat.
I
don't think Casey Thompson stopped that running game.
I said this in the messenger. I go, Texas just looks soft as fuck. They just look soft. And I don't think that's anything new for people who kind of follow the Longhorns, especially when they play in the Big 12. Pac-12 similarly, although the Pac-12 did have a very good showing this past Saturday, taking Texas A&M, Colorado taking Texas A&M to the brink, Oregon beating Ohio State at the Horseshoe. And so, yeah, and then you have this output. The Razorbacks look strong. They're 20th in the nation now. They can very easily beat A&M in 2 weeks on September 25th with Haynes King, the starting quarterback for the Texas A&M Aggies, having a crack in his leg after playing in Colorado. I mean, I wouldn't. I think maybe right now the way LSU is playing, not very good. The way A&M is demoralized, not very good. The only team that's going to be in Arkansas's way is Alabama. The way things are shaping up, and I'm not saying Arkansas can beat Alabama, but if you can play tough, if you got tough lines of scrimmage, offense and defense, their head coach is a former offensive line coach. He's going to make sure his team is tough in the trenches. You may have a shot the way y'all are running the ball. And if you can protect it against Alabama, that's a big opportunity for the Razorbacks. This may be a blessing of a season that maybe not a lot of Razorbacks may have thought, or maybe y'all did, and the rest of the world just didn't know.
We definitely thought we were improved. And going up against Texas, we really wanted that game just because Texas fans have been dogging on Arkansas. I've been getting lit up for the last couple of weeks. I'm from Austin, so all the Longhorn fans have been lighting me up. My messenger, my text messages, Facebook, it's just been all this kind of noise. It got real quiet by halftime. Nobody was sending me nothing.
Were you sending anything out?
Talk to me.
Did you send stuff out?
Oh, I sent out little stuff. I got somebody's punching UT in the face. I think one of them, the Razorbacks standing on Bevo or something like that. But, they came out and they did what they wanted to do. They ran the ball right down Texas' throat. And then defensively, Ridgeway was the defensive line. They were winning that battle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're winning the battle in the trenches, and that's huge. So, I mean, you gotta be excited about that. I think they kind of overlooked Arkansas. And I said that going into the game. I said, hey, they better worry about Arkansas before they start thinking about Oklahoma down the road.
It definitely showed up on Saturday night when Texas kind of got into the first quarter. It almost appeared as if Texas was expecting Arkansas just to lay down because they're the Longhorns. That's what it appeared to me. But Arkansas just said, no, we're going to punch you in the mouth and we're going to see how you're going to react to it. And once they did that, Texas was just on the ropes the whole game. Any other big takeaways from that game that stood out to you?
I'm really liking this backup quarterback we have. Man, did you see that dude come in there, how fast he was?
Who was that?
Number 4, I can't remember his name, but he came in, he had a really great run. So I think, going forward, I think we're still going to have somebody that can run the ball after Jefferson. And the running back core, I mean, we have a lot of running backs. So the way we run the ball, that makes it a huge deal because you just keep putting guys in to run the ball. You just keep running it and running it. And then, I wish the Cowboys would kind of take a page out of their book and, they run the ball to set up the pass, unlike the Cowboys who pass the ball to every once in a while to run it. But, you gotta love the way that Arkansas came into the game. The fans been wanting this game forever since it was put on the schedule. You could tell, even though they got a stupid fine for rushing the field, it was a big deal because this is a big rivalry game, and Texas is always downplaying Arkansas. They don't show a lot of respect to Arkansas. Anytime Arkansas loses, I get a lot of Texas fans that light me up about it. Any sport, baseball, basketball. So it was a great win for Arkansas. I know now everybody's gonna say, "Oh well, Texas, we're not that good. We're rebuilding."
They're gonna walk it back.
How are you rebuilding when you still got one of the top recruiting classes?
Well, that's a fair point. And just side note that number 4 is Malik Hornsby out of Missouri City. So everybody
That's
out there,
dude on the team.
Yeah, he went to Fort Bend Marshall. Yeah, dude's a baller.
Like he was the anchor on the Arkansas track team, so that says a lot. Arkansas's got a really good track team, and he was the anchor on the mile relay.
And he's a redshirt freshman, so he's still got he'll have 3 more years after this if he wanted it. Lots of talent still out there for the Razorbacks. Did you hear today USC fired their head coach Charles Helton?
Met him on the tarmac.
Really?
I don't know. I just it seemed like it did.
You would come up with the pettiness, right? You would come up with that petty, like, yeah, we made him on tarmac. Here's your box.
Kiffin, didn't they?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think they wouldn't let Lane Kiffin on the plane.
But Lane, I think, has a big mouth, and his big mouth kind of walked him out of that probably position. So here's the thing: rumors are already swirling. Who's going to take that job? Is Urban going to take that job? Sarkisian going to take that job? I don't know if they let Sarkisian back after his drunken episode, I should say.
That would be hurtful to the Texas fans if Sarkisian left. But if I were Sarkisian, I wouldn't mind leaving because they're already trying to fire the guy. He lost one game, and they're already, saying the guy's horrible. Texas fans, you have no opportunity. You got to win right away.
Yeah, you got to win now, and that's the thing is like you can't build like a culture. And for a little takeaways for the Horns. You have a redshirt freshman starting quarterback in Hudson Card. You have 3 underclassmen, sophomores or freshmen on the offensive line who haven't been developed. You have freshmen on the defensive line who haven't been developed. Now, in 3 years, they may be a pretty good team. Like when Bijan Robinson's a senior, they could be a really formidable team. But right now, they're young, they're inexperienced, and they have no identity. And they're trying to establish this all gas, no brakes identity. And I think that's going to take time to build that culture. For now, you're going to have these episodes where you get ranked probably right where you need to be, top 20, and you're 20 to 25, and then you get a decent win over a top 24 team who probably shouldn't have been ranked top 24. And then you go play Arkansas in the SEC. Everybody knows the drama swirling around Oklahoma and Texas coming to the SEC, and Arkansas was like, we got an opportunity to punch these dudes in the mouth, and they took advantage of it. I don't think that calls for Sarkisian to be canned, but I do think that it's like, look, y'all gave Herman 3 years. You gave Charlie Strong 2 years. It's like, look, you at least give Sarkisian 2 years. I mean, that's just all I got to say about it. Will that happen? God only knows.
Yeah, I just don't think Sarkisian knew how big of a game it was. I don't know if he got those guys up ready for it. There's a lot of history in the Arkansas-Texas game. There's a lot of bad blood. I know I've been to Texas-Arkansas games, and even when I go to Texas games and Arkansas is not playing, I get booed when I walk through the tailgate. So, I mean, there's a lot of bad blood.
But that's his responsibility to know the situation. That's Sarkisian's responsibility. Yeah. And it's his responsibility to get his players in the position to go win the game. I just don't think he has the horses to go win those kind of games. Not right now. And now if he would have gone and like pillaged all the JUCOs for like juniors and seniors and brought them to the offensive line, yeah, I think that would have worked. But that's not the way he builds a system. He's trying to build a system from players that they recruited to go into their system, and in year 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's how you turn around a system. That's what Alabama did. Like Nick Saban in Alabama didn't do shit for 2 years, and then in year 3, they came off the board winning national championships. People don't remember that.
Well, first of all, Shark ain't Nick Saban. I don't care if he worked.
There's nobody like Nick Saban. There's nobody
Saban as much as he did. He's not Saban.
Not even Deion.
I mean,
no, sorry, Prime. Not even Deion.
So he's got to be his own coach, and he's got to start developing these players.
But he's at a disadvantage.
Texas is getting the recruiting class that they should be getting better, but they're not.
Wes, look. Those stars mean absolutely nothing. They mean nothing. All it means is you can test well in a isolated activity. That's all that means. Now, do you got to give respect to those players? Yeah, but listen, Nick Saban goes out, and this is where I think Texas is at a disadvantage. And I know this is going to sound horrible, but their academic standards is what makes them lose out on some recruits. Because you have some recruits who are going to be 3 stars who you can go take to Alabama, and by the time they're juniors, they're 5 stars. But then you have a 5-star kid who comes into Texas, and they're not going to be developed because they're just going to stay at this 5-star high school status. They don't develop. That's the thing, is like they don't develop them. And I think with Alabama, you can give a little bit of leeway to a 3-star kid, and he gets that 3-star because of his grades. And then you can get him into Alabama, and then you can mold him into the student athlete that y'all want, or that he needs to be for Alabama. Because let me tell you right now, Alabama runs pro style everything. You cannot be dumb and play at Alabama. You may not have the grades because of this or this situation or that situation where maybe you weren't held as accountable in the classroom as other kids were. And so maybe your grades don't reflect how intelligent you are. I'm not disrespecting the student athlete. I'm just saying that the accountability is maybe not as prevalent as some of these schools in, the middle of nowhere, rural America, compared to schools that are going to be maybe in the inner city who want to have good test scores so they can get more funding through the state. Long story short, your grades are going to dictate what star you get. So you can take a 3-star and form them into a 5-star like they do at Alabama. And at Texas, they're not developing them. Not yet. Maybe we'll see that in the future. That's to be seen.
And just Saban is never satisfied.
Yeah, that's true.
Satisfied.
That's true. That's why he fires his coaches every year. Well, he doesn't fire them. They go take a job. Like Brett Bielema goes to Illinois and then gets beat by UT. He beats Nebraska at Illinois week 1 and then loses to UTSA in week 2. And then week 3 they lost. They just lost this past weekend to I don't know who. But like Bill O'Brien, he'll be a head coach next year somewhere. A college team, maybe a pro offensive coordinator. He won't be there. What Saban will do is he'll go take another coach who gets fired and he'll stick them in there. That's just what he does, and it works.
Yep.
All right, fellas. Anything else before we wrap up the show?
Oh, I got nothing. Just want to send my hugs out to James because I know it was just a rough week for him. Hey, you know what though, James? I'm proud that you showed your face today because Aaron Rodgers and that man bun, dude. I would have been pissed about that.
Hey, would you be talking that same kind of nonsense to Bakhtiari? Because Bakhtiari wears a man bun and he's 6'9".
Oh yeah, offensive linemen they wear the man bun. That's all right.
No, it's pretty funny how things turn when I say 6'9" compared to Aaron Rodgers 6'3".
Aaron Rodgers ain't no 6'3".
He may see 6'2". He's 6'2". Yes, you're right. He's 6'2".
I think he might be shorter than that. I think
don't put that on that man.
He's sensitive about that too.
Yeah, I know.
Really sensitive about that.
Listen, let me tell you how I know he's 6'2", because when they had the match, when it was Phil Mickelson. This is golf. Phil Mickelson, Tom Brady, golf. Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau is 6'1", and Aaron Rodgers was taller than him in golf shoes. So that tells me he's bigger than 6'1".
He probably got some lifts in there.
Ooh, the disrespect. You saying this man
cut that man bun off. He's got to cut the man bun off so they can start playing better.
Hey, you better watch yourself, man. Talking about the 2-time MVP. 3 times.
He's got to cut the man bun off.
Listen, James, I hate to break this to you, but that was in 2021. That was 2020. This is 2021. Those accolades mean nothing.
All right. They look nice in the trophy case, I would imagine.
I think Aaron Rodgers wants a Super Bowl than an MVP trophy.
Well, me as a fan, I'd rather have the Super Bowl trophy.
Believe you.
Now, before we go, I wanted to talk about what's going on in Chicago. I mean, I know what's going on, but I wanted to get y'all's take on it because, like, me personally,
Andy Dalton on the field. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, but then I do know like a young quarterback. Some people they wanted him to sit and learn, but with the way that
Andy Dalton.
the way the team's going now, it's like, and they put him in. The guy did score a rushing touchdown, was it right? Yeah. And I'm happy for him and all of that stuff. And I'm like, dude, let him play. Well, I mean, what do you say?
So 2 things. Matt Nagy was the offense coordinator at Kansas City when Patrick Mahomes was drafted to KC. So he got to see Mahomes sit behind Alex Smith for 1 year and how much growth he had. And I think in this instance, Nagy's not going to have Fields play all the time, but sparingly when they're in the red zone, when he knows there's a mismatch, he's going to put him in. But long story short is Fields needs to learn more. Fields needs to there's a lot of growing pains, and their offensive line it got worse last night when Jason Peters went out, the starting left tackle. And you got to remember, Peters was fishing on a lake whenever he got picked up to come back from free agency. So their offensive line is garbage. You don't want to put your future franchise quarterback in harm's way. Let Andy Dalton take the licks. And in this instance, use him sparingly. Let him get to understanding the game flow, I think, of the NFL. And that's why I think he's not playing all the time. And I don't think the expectation is for the Bears to win. I think the expectation is for the Bears not to get Justin Fields hurt. Wes, you all right over there, buddy?
Struggling. Andy Dalton's trash. That's basically it.
See how my soliloquy goes off and gives you explanation. Wes is just telling you he's trash.
I can't believe that the Bears went and paid this dude that much money. Andy Dalton is straight trash. I don't get why people. I mean, you can find somebody cheaper and just if you want somebody to go out there and take hits. But Andy Dalton's he's just not very good.
Hey, Cam Newton to the Redskins. I mean, to the Washington football teams. I don't know why I keep doing that.
Again.
If I was the Bears, I'd cut Andy Dalton right now and put Cam Newton as a starting quarterback. You want somebody to take the hit?
You could easily cut Andy Dalton and put Nick Foles at the starting QB1 to take the licks.
I mean, I just don't understand why anybody still wants Andy Dalton. I don't get it.
They paid him $10 million.
Yeah, they're dumber than the Cowboys.
That's stupid.
I don't get it. I mean, that's just throwing around some money just because you got it, I guess.
Speaking of Cam, I saw going back to Jameis also. Mm-hmm. So I saw watching Jameis Winston play on yesterday. I saw him making like some very smart decisions on the field, keeping it, running it, holding it a little longer, not letting it fly when he would have before. I feel like,
yeah.
And from what I can see is here's a guy. Let me get my Chris Collinsworth on.
Oh,
so here's a guy
I can't stand that
who was cut from the Bucs when Tom Brady came to town. Yeah. Got a second opportunity.
He was cut because he threw 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. That's why he was cut.
Oh, 30 for 30.
Yeah.
You don't think they were gonna? If Tom Brady hadn't came to town, they would have kicked him to the curb.
Who are they gonna? Who was the backup quarterback?
Who are you gonna go get?
Who? Cam? No.
Andy Dalton. You bring in Andy Dalton in the place Winston.
If Tom Brady doesn't come to Tampa, Jameis ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So he was cut because Tom Brady came to town.
Oh, that's. I guess you could look at it that way. Yeah. I don't think so, but you can look at it that way.
Yeah. So, getting cut, getting a second chance, which it wasn't clear that he was going to take over. And then they, he won the the preseason battle, you could say, to get the starting position. Right. So he's given another chance. And I feel like, as opposed to Cam, and this is just my opinion, I feel like Cam's over there, dancing around. He's over there in New England, just having a good old time, and they're just,
No, but Cam, for me, I think the way Mac Jones prepared and the way Mac Jones was groomed at Alabama to not only sit behind two other first-round draft pick quarterbacks was far more, I think, in line with what the Patriots wanted in a quarterback compared to Cam. And I'm not talking about personalities. I'm just talking about preparation levels. And you got to remember, too, like, I'm sure Mac Jones wanted to go to New England. I mean, I remember when he was drafted and he told Goodell, he was like, that's where I wanted to go on the stage. For Cam, that's just where he was picked up. He was picked up because they had no other options. But I think Cam learned a lot in that Patriot system and probably learned more there than he did his time in Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, the question is where does he go next? If I was Cam, I'd follow the Jameis Winston protocol and go to New Orleans, go learn from Sean Payton. And so when you go the next year, you could probably be as highly educated in quarterback play as Jameis is now. Now, I'm not saying Cam would have the same kind of outcome of opportunity that Winston's having, but I believe that Cam would have the ability to grow even further in his quarterback knowledge. He's only 33. Tom Brady's 45. Cam Newton is more of a genetic freak than Tom Brady. If Cam learned how to sit in the pocket and throw the ball with a 6'6" frame, 6'5" plus frame, I think he'd have the same success as a quarterback probably with half the skill of Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yeah, I just felt, I guess cutting to the chase, I feel like maturity on the field as Jameis Winston's kind of, matured as a player on the field.
That's on the field, yes, but off, no. But you got to remember, too.
I think that's why he didn't start last year when they started Taysom Hills, because he wasn't mature. He wasn't ready yet.
But
he matured a lot, and that's why I think they went with him this year.
For Jameis, it's twofold. He has a strong defense, and he has a strong running game with an offensive line. Those are quarterbacks' best friends. That puts all the pressure not on your shoulders, on everybody else's. And he knows all he has to do is protect the ball and make the right decision. Whatever the coverage dictates, take that. If they're giving you underneath, you take underneath. If you go play action and they're playing single high safety, look off the safety, throw the ball deep like he did yesterday. It's not super complicated. It's just you take what the defense gives you. And I think that's what Dak did well also on Thursday night. He took what they would give him. Aaron, Sunday afternoon, did not take what New Orleans defense gave him. He wasn't doing that.
Bill said, let's not get out of our anointing oils yet. Jameis Winston did play against the Packers, who looked pretty bad. So,
listen, but the New Orleans had the ball like a 4-to-1 average on time of possession. For every 4 minutes they had the ball, Green Bay had it 1. The defense was always on the field for Green Bay, so that's a hard comparison to say. I don't think that's a fair look at Jameis or a fair look at Aaron. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
Oh, God damn it.
He saw it coming.
Cut that man bun off, man. That's what he's got to do.
Why are you hating on his hair?
Dude, I'm just saying, go back to when the last time a quarterback went to the championship with a man bun.
So let me just do a quick Google search for Tom Brady and man bun.
It's not there. He can have long hair. His quarterbacks have long hair. Patrick Mahomes got some pretty long hair.
Tom Brady man bun.
What year was that?
Tom Brady man bun. Let's see. This is.
Was that the beginning of the season or is that towards the end?
This is 2015. Doesn't matter. It's a man bun.
Yeah, but he probably cut it off when the season got going.
When the season started.
This is July 6, 2011 practice.
Yep. And then when the season got going, he's like, hey, it's time to get serious. I got to get the man bun going.
You got to modify your search. Regular season. Tom Brady, man bun, regular season.
I'm looking for a.
Give me a Tom Brady at the Super Bowl with a man bun. It ain't gonna happen. It's all business by then.
I don't give a shit. Tom Brady's wearing a goddamn man bun in this photo.
I don't doubt that he isn't, but when it comes to crunch time, he cut it off. And that's the difference. And it's time for Aaron to let go of it. He kind of looks like a old drunk that
people were saying he's like an aging or aging out like folk singer.
People were saying all kinds of shit.
He looks bad. He looks like he's about 54.
Look, Tom Brady in a man bun coming home from practice.
That's not the regular season though.
With a sweaty shirt. That's yes.
What's the date?
Do you want FM? What is that of that formatting? Do you want like
I just want
October 14th, 2015.
What is it?
October 14th, 2015.
That doesn't sound like playoff time to me.
We just said regular season, and now you want to push it back?
No,
you're like the government. You're like the government.
Playoff time.
You're like the government. We're gonna here's the line we're gonna say, and then nope, we're gonna push it back again, and then we're 14 days to slow the spread. Now it's 18 months later.
Final line, come playoff time. There's no man.
God. Tom Brady had man bun during the regular season.
We got a comment. Norish in the YouTube says, "Who dat?" Exclamation marks.
Saints with the dub.
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not. If you let me finish, y'all two over here jumping the gun. I was over here trying to get out early at 45 after. Y'all want to keep talking. Listen, producer James did fulfill his bet of by losing the bet by eating with the gusto the dub like James Winston. See, James and Jameis, yeah.
How dare you?
Hey, could be worse.
There's no I in James.
But there is a me. All right, Bellas. I appreciate everybody watching tonight. Those in the comments. We're going to get back at it after tomorrow. Hey, Wes, get you some zinc and some NyQuil, bro. Go step outside if there's some sun.
Go to bed right now.
Nah, don't do that. I ain't your mama.
No ivermectin?
Ivermectin? You going to get some ivermectin?
I'm gonna get some Robitussin.
Dude, that Tussin, that Tussin take care of you at night, for real. It took care of me when I was a baby, like a kid, like a child. I'm like, Mom, I feel sick. All right, we're gonna give you some Tussin. With the grape flavor? Shit. That's the original. Original pints. All right, fellas. Hey, shout out prayers for everybody in Houston right now. That hurricane is now like landfall. So thoughts and prayers, everybody out there, be safe. Same thing for everybody in New Orleans and Louisiana area. We're praying for y'all. Y'all are not forgotten for sure.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of friends and family there. My brother's in Baton Rouge. My sister's in Houston.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law in Houston. And I also want to send a shout out to Southern University.
Shout out.
My brother was mad. We didn't give him a shout out. That's where he went. He was on the drum line. He can still tear it up on the drums.
He went to Southern or Texas Southern?
No, Southern.
Yeah, Southern. Okay. Yeah, they pulled the dub out this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that Jacksonville State? Woo.
No, Jackson State, not Jacksonville State. Jackson State.
No, it was Jacksonville State against.
Yeah, I know, but I ain't trying to give them no recognition. Yeah, they pulled the dub out. I get it, but it's all about Jackson State. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Wes, that comment that came through was from your brother. He said Wes's brother.
Yeah, okay. Southern pulled the dub this past Saturday for sure. Right. Prairie View A&M and Texas Southern did not, but they played really good teams. Yeah,
he actually does his own shows. He does like a lot of children's shows and documentaries and things like that in Baton Rouge. So
awesome.
So he gives us some critiquing. It's always good. He said he likes the show. So
no doubt. Maybe we have to get him on the show. What's your brother's name?
Donald Ray Jr.
Shout out to Donald Ray. All right, fellas. We'll see y'all mananas. Until then, I'm gonna go watch the rest of this football game. Adios. Yep.
Head on over to Spotify, search Paul Rodriguez Show. You'll see the little logo pop up. Give us a follow, turn notifications on. That way you don't miss any show that is uploaded, which is daily.